So my thing is, I just try to make the best shields out there.
Yeah.
Just trying to do my very best. Like that's kind of something that's been instilled in me as a young kid. My grandpa, before he even knew I wanted to be a fireman, he goes, whatever you want to do, just be the best at it. Mm-hmm. If you want to be he's like, I don't care what you do. He goes, if you're a garbage man, be the best garbage man you can be. All this stuff. So I really took that to heart. And so with the shields, I'm like, okay, like I'm tired of the ones that just look like crud.
They're terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like I'm gonna make a shield, and it's not gonna fold over. It's not gonna crumble. It's not gonna do any of these things. And it's just been trial and error. I make a shield, and I just ask for feedback, and how does it work, and and guys would send me in-service pictures, and I would be inspecting it, and I'm like, hey man, it looks like it's kind of the top is kind of curling a little bit. Like, am I seeing this right? Like, oh yeah, like I had to make it do that because I wanted it to curl, and it wouldn't curl, and I had to like literally bend it over to curl. I'm like, okay, but like my heart stops a little bit. I'm like, dude, like, am I making something that is failing? Yeah. So, yeah, it's been trial and error. I think we have a pretty good product right now.
Now you're, because you've made me one. Mm-hmm. Got my engineer shit all over, but. How many layers of leather do you do? Because it does seem it's sturdy and thick, but it's not, that's the best way. It's not a bad thick. Like it's not overdone.
Right.
It's perfect. So how, is there like a stack method you have?
Yeah. So it's 3 layers, and combined they're about just over a 1/4 inch thick.
Okay.
So, I feel like any thicker than that, it just looks weird.
Too much.
It just looks like too much at the front of your helmet.
Okay.
So it's a front piece, the middle piece, which has the wording on it, and then the back piece.
Okay.
And then they're all glued and stitched together.
Okay.
And the stitching that we use is like real thick, like 1 millimeter-inch thick stitching. So it's kind of predominant. It gives it like that look. There's a certain look that I've kind of, I guess, has become mine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so like the font, the stitching, all that stuff. So
yeah, and you also put I believe you put a stamp of American flag on there. I love that, bro. My man, dude. America, baby.
Yeah.
That's how I know it's your shield. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that shield.
I've only had one person ask to not have it.
Okay.
And I kind of like almost didn't want to make it.
Right.
Like, hey, bro, like
what? This is our country, bro.
Right. Yeah. The shields come with American flag, and if you don't like it, then I guess.
No, you've made a name for yourself, and I've seen your shields around, even doing training with different departments. Excuse me, but how many shields would you estimate you've made since you've started?
Oh man,
you thinking over 200?
Oh yeah,
well over 200. Okay, let's go. What do you think? Over 600?
So when I'm making the shield, I put that center medallion in the middle.
Yeah.
So I punch out a hole. Like the shield's complete, it's sewn, all that stuff. The last thing is to put the medallion.
Okay.
So I punch out a hole to put the medallion in, and that, since it's glued together, that punch out has all 3 layers. It's a punch out of all 3 layers.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so they're glued together, and I put that thing in the jar.
Oh, you've saved them?
Yeah. So I have a mason jar.
Oh, okay, right on.
I have a mason jar, and it's like 3/4 of the way filled up. And I started doing that probably 3 years ago.
Okay.
Or something like that. And before then, I mean, I wasn't even keeping track. I don't know. Well, I'm probably at a couple thousand.
A couple thousand shields.
And I mean, when they take 5 hours to make,
that's a lot of time.
It's a big deal.
But that's also a lot of your product in, being used in our profession, which I think is pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
The shield is something very important, has a long-standing history and culture in the fire service. There's a lot of tradition behind it.
Right.
Now, have the helmets changed since, the fire service was founded, the fire brigade in, Boston, New York, and Chicago. Yeah, I mean, most of them still kind of have that traditional, helmet. But now we have the newer style, which we still have the shields. We still have our badge. There's a lot of meaning. There's a lot of pride behind it. You see some departments let personnel kind of personalize theirs a little bit. Even put like logos of, if they're Irish, put the, what is it? I'm trying to remember what it is. Shamrock. Thank you. What's up? Thanks for helping me out. The shamrock on there, or I've seen like some helmets have like their favorite football team on there, like their logo and all that stuff. So it has a lot of meaning to it.
Right.
I think it's special. So to know that you've made thousands
Mm-hmm.
that are across the country. Is it possibly international?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, cool.
Hopefully one day.
One day, yeah.
Hopefully one
Probably
day.
Mexico. We'll throw Mexico in there. But to know that you have that many shields out and it's
Right.
in our profession, it's something that means so much to people and has, rich heritage and tradition is pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
A new tradition that's kind of started is it's been going on with other departments like Riverside County, but with our department, when a probationary firefighter finishes his or her probation, they get issued their helmet shield. And so what crews are doing is that they're ordering a helmet shield from me and they're presenting it to their rookie.
That's cool.
As a rite of passage, like, hey, welcome to the family and stuff. So
Well, and it comes from their crew, which has even more meaning, right? Instead of
Right.
just, not to talk trash on our Chiefs. You guys are lazy. But anyways, just kidding. But, it'll mean more than just the
Right.
BC that comes by. And the BC has a lot to do. He's got a whole battalion. It's not very personal, right? You don't have that connection, whereas it's your crew who's trained you.
Right.
They've taught you to become a well-rounded firefighter, someone who works hard, not just in the station, but on duty, fires, rescues, whatever it's going to be. So for it to come from them and it's handmade and it's
Right.
coming, that's something sturdy that they're going to have until they, promote or whatever and keep. That's huge, man.
and it's the forethought, like the department will send you a shield in the mail and say, hey, this is for so-and-so. And, or the BC will have it, just still in the wrapper to give to the,
Right, right.
to the rookie. But the forethought of contacting me, a month out or whatever and say, hey, we want to get this shield for our rookie, that has some meaning behind it.
That's pretty cool.
You know?
Yeah, that's really cool. Hopefully